I went to stay in a hotel in Singapore for Christmas, New Year of 2023 to 2024. I chose a really nice hotel by the Clarke Quay, so I could access all of the restaurants and bars near to the hotel. The first few days I was there were okay, but the spookiness started to happen around day 3. I got back to my hotel after a day out at Takashimaya shopping mall, and the only way I can describe how I felt was like my brain was all spaced out. I started to settle in for the night. The light in the room kept on flickering. I didn't think anything of it, but when I went to sleep that night, it was as though something kept touching my head. As soon as I started to drift off, it would keep happening, to the point where I had no sleep that night. I shook it off and thought, oh no, it's just anxiety. I mean, I was traveling alone as a single woman. The following day, I went to the lifts. I was going off to the Singapore Zoo. The lift stopped. I was in there for about 5 minutes with no movement by myself. I immediately went down to reception and told them that my key mustn't be working, so they gave me a new one. I went out to the zoo and had a good day. Didn't think anything of the night before, but I was so tired. I got back, and to my surprise, the hotel door was left open. Now, hotel doors are very heavy doors. They literally slam shut behind you. I thought maybe I just left the latch in the spot of where the door was closing. I started to settle in for the night. As soon as I turned the light off to go to sleep, the same thing kept happening. My head and neck were being touched by something. I got up out of bed and went in to wash my hair. I thought a shower might relax me. I started to blow dry it, and to my surprise, the brush flung back and hit the mirror and cracked it. At this point, I only had 1 day left of my trip, and when this kind of thing happens to you, you just kind of write it off as anxiety, and I didn't say anything to anyone about it. The same thing happened for the remainder of the trip, and I had no sleep. On my way to the airport, I started Googling, and on TripAdvisor I found stories of the same nature. The hotel was built on a Japanese war zone. People had reported seeing prisoners begging for help in the hallways, and all kinds of paranormal experiences. I was completely spooked and so glad to be out of there. When I arrived home, I believe it came home in my suitcase with me. Because for 2 weeks following my trip, I had the same experience at home. I went for 2 spiritual healings. I cleansed my room with sage. I cleansed my room with holy water. One night when I was drifting off to sleep, about 2 weeks later, a little Japanese boy showed up next to my bed. I never saw him again after that because I sent him on peacefully and asked him to go to the light.